I'm going to do things a little different tonight, but tonight I have one of my favorite paintings. It's a painting that I really, really like, and I purposely held off on it for a while before I showed you on the channel here. And it's about aliens in space. Aliens in space. I think I have 8 installments in this series. This is Aliens in Space. I think I have 1, 2, 3, all the way up to part 8. And by the way, they're all available on redbubble.com. Check it out. This painting, as well as the others, are on multiple products like prints, posters, metal prints, socks, backpacks, so many things, tapestries, shower curtains, all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty cool. Go check it out. But yeah, this painting here, Aliens in Space, is really one that I not only appreciate and like, but how I did it and the style to me is so interesting. The shadows, the contrast between the light outside of the spaceship and the darkness inside. And then you can see the characters well too, but it's shadowy. It's more kind of fun and mysterious, a little scary. But the way it's done makes it unique. The way it's done really puts it a notch above the rest, I think. So I'm going to show you this painting and get ready. I hope you enjoy it. Well, here it is, Aliens in Space. I love this painting. It's a good combination of realism and impressionism. Here's the characters, the aliens. You got the 2 helper aliens here, and then the big guy, the big alien. But these are also helpers, smaller aliens back here at the control panels. You have a beautiful view of the universe outside the spacecraft. Just love this. Not to blow my own horn, I'm just saying this is one of my favorites. I'm proud of it. And that's why I've done 8. If my memory serves me right, I think I did 8, 7, 8, or 9, but I think there's 8 in the series. And I had to keep making them because I liked them so much. And then they have unique uniforms. I just created them, made them up off the cuff. And he's at this control panel here. He's the leader. And if you go to Redbubble, in my description of this painting as well as the others, they are warlike aliens. I figured it would be more exciting to make them like warlike aliens. They go off, they conquer planets or destroy them throughout the universe. And makes it exciting. Makes it interesting. You got different colors here. And the control panels, I kind of made them look a little retro. Kind of an older style science fiction on purpose. If it was real, I would imagine that everything would be downsized. But I did this on purpose because I like it. This painting is really, to me, a good mixture of impressionism and reality. And then those stars, really beautiful. Really like the big stars. And then you have this planet here. Maybe they're getting ready to conquer it. They're viewing it, observing it before they go in. And another thing that makes it exciting, whether you believe in aliens or not, whether you think we're alone or not, it's still fun to use your imagination. I believe strongly that we're not alone in the universe. I actually, in a previous video, I did a video explaining my experience that cemented my belief that we're not alone. I'm not one of those people who, well, yeah, I got converted. Now I believe, but I didn't before. No, my mind was always open. I always thought there could be, because the universe is so big. And if we're here, why not other civilizations? I had a couple experiences that really convinced me. And now I know that we're not alone. I don't just believe we're not alone. I know we're not. Because one of my experiences back in 1997, March 1997, I believe, I saw a dark triangle in the sky, and it was low. It wasn't high, and it was definitely not a plane. It had no wings, just a dark triangle. And it was really strange because the night that I saw it, we had the eclipse. It was a blood moon eclipse taking place, and I was watching that in the east. That's why I was outside. And in the northwest, we had the comet Hale-Bopp, and I saw that. Not only that, but the eclipse. And then to the right, suddenly, I saw this quiet triangle just kind of come out of nowhere. It was probably there earlier, but I didn't see it. But it was just coming from the south and going north. And then this little Cessna plane was coming from the north and going right towards it, probably trying to get a good look at the eclipse, because that was a sight to see too. So you had the Hale-Bopp comet in the northwest, you had the eclipse in the east, the moon was turning blood red, and then from the south, this triangle. And as I was watching it, the triangle seemed to cloak itself. It slowly became invisible as it approached the Cessna. But I knew it was still there because the Cessna went dark. And that's when I knew the object moved right in front of the plane, right in front of the little Cessna. It silhouetted it. It looked like the plane went in one side and came out the other, but it was just the object in front of the plane is what it was. So then my eyes got locked on it again. And even though it cloaked itself, it was still there. And I watched it until I couldn't see it anymore. It got too far away, but it was still moving slow. It didn't zip off. That convinced me. And another experience convinced me when I was camping. I just want to give you a little bit more. I'm going off with these stories here. But this painting was inspired by those, and then also multiple movies that I'll get into in a minute. Love this painting, but when I was camping, it was dusk, and I was just watching the road. I was standing there with family and friends, and I looked down the road, and it was getting dark. I saw this kid run across the road, and he had green trunks on. You know, like green swimming trunks, but they were weird because they were a little shiny. He had no shoes on, and he had no hair. He was bald. He ran across the road and then squatted down, and he was starting to look at one of the campers across the road. He was watching them. And that's when I realized this isn't a kid. He's about 3.5, 4 feet, but that head shape is very, very similar to depictions of aliens. But he looked exactly like a kid, almost, until I got a better look at him. His feet were different from a human being's. His head was different, shaped different. He had no clothes on except for those green trunks. And he did not move like a person after I studied him. He squat down, he turned his head quick for a few times, and then he looked like he was doing reconnaissance, and he was watching this other camper. He was spying on him. And it was a camper that we talked to earlier in the day. And so anyway, he got up and ran, he ran up the road, he squatted one more time and looked at that camper. And he didn't, I mean, he moved strange too. The way he ran, I was convinced that it was not a human. And this might sound crazy and strange to a lot of people, but I know what I saw. And as more information comes out, maybe our government will start releasing more information. Or, I guess I'll put it this way, the pilots, our military, the pilots, I think some of them have been releasing this information. Maybe the government will get on board and start releasing more. And who knows? I'm not sure what's going to happen. I hope they do release the truth. But yeah, I believe that I saw some kind of alien. It wasn't a kid. But I could be wrong, but I doubt it because it did not look human. The head was shaped like one of the aliens that you would hear about with abduction cases and descriptions in the stories. And so anyway, he ran up the road into the dark, into the night. He never ran towards the campground again. He left the campground and ran up the road to the right, which was just a dark road at night, and there's nothing but trees and mountains out there. So he ran off. Why would he do that if it was just a human kid? He ran off into the night, up the road. And not to mention there's strange lights that we saw in that area on other occasions, but that could have been human. I'm not sure, but so those two events really cemented my belief. And then the third one was where I was looking up into the sky because I think a blimp went by or something. I forgot why I was out there, but there was a object way high up in the sky, and it looked like two wheels, like on a bicycle, and they were turning, like accessing each other, and it was way up there. It wasn't as impressive as the triangle, but it could have been if it was closer to me. But it was way up there, and it was definitely not a plane or anything that we had, but it looked like two bicycle wheels circling each other with like a bar in the middle. So that was a third incident. But that triangle, and then that strange being running around in the forest alongside the road when we were camping. And I don't care what people think. I know what I saw, and some people might think I'm crazy, but even if you don't believe, you could still enjoy this painting and just the imagination. Like, what if it were true? I also believe in God, and I think that who's to say that he didn't create other interesting creatures throughout the universe? Actually, there's a part of the Bible that says there's celestial beings in 1st or 2nd Peter. I think it says there in chapter 2. I think it's chapter 2 of 2nd Peter. It says there's celestial beings. And they're different from angels because it says even though angels are more powerful than such beings, angels do not bring slanderous accusations against them. So there's a different category other than angels. So check that out if you're a believer in the Bible and you have a hard time harmonizing the two. I don't think it's hard at all. In fact, I think the Bible has a lot to teach us about aliens and angels, and I think they go hand in hand. So anyway, back to the painting. But the painting is the same subject. So I didn't stray too far off, but a lot of those are inspirations to this. But also, as far as movies go, the original Thing and the remake. The original Thing, I think, was by Howard Hawks with James Arness, and the remake was with Kurt Russell, directed by John Carpenter. And the original Thing would look more similar to these creatures. The remake, which actually the remake grew on me. The old one was a family favorite, but as I watched that one and then John Carpenter's grew on me, and I ended up liking that one with Kurt Russell the best, because it just grew on me. I love the music, I love the cinematography, I love the colors, all of it, and I love John Carpenter's style. So remember, if you're outside looking up, these things are out there. Not sure if they look exactly like this, but we're not alone. Let me just be a little matter of fact based on what I saw, ladies and gentlemen. We're not alone. Whether you want us to be or not, we're not. So it's a little different tonight. This is a little more of a deep episode of Doorway to the Paintings. But it's one of my favorite paintings. You got all the controls here. And I like how these two aliens, they got character and style. See, they're standing, and their body language, the language of their face, their movement, or the way they're positioned in my painting, I should say. They're not moving. If they're moving, then I'll capture it on film. But yeah, they're really interesting, and I think it adds a lot of style and impressionism to the paintings, just their position, just the way their body language is. And then this guy here, it's got almost an iconic look. And believe me, I would say the same thing if it was someone else's painting. In fact, I'd probably praise him more than myself. I don't like to talk about myself. I paint this way because it's my taste. It's what I would want to buy if I bought art. And if it's just real and copies real life, then it's talented, it's fine. And if it's just impressionism and it's spray painted and you can't really tell what it is, I don't like either one of those, to be honest with you. But I would prefer realism. What I like is this. You have a good combination here of impressionism, which gives it more style and character, and you have realism mixed together. I think I found that balance, and that's what I love in my art. And it's just my taste. It's not everyone's taste. And I hope you like looking at this video with me. I know I enjoyed looking at it again, and in the future, I plan on being back with another video, and hopefully I can get to the other aliens in space in the series. I can get into the other paintings in the series. But anyway, if you like this video, like and subscribe. And my plan is to be back with you soon on another night for a new edition of Doorway to the Paintings. Watch the skies. Look at the stars. We're not alone. Beware. And good night, everybody.